Are you ready to get flexible? This routine is all about back bends. We'll start off with some spinal mobility and then get into the deeper stretches. I'm Sonia, a certified yoga instructor. Hit the like and the subscribe button, and let's get started. I recommend a yoga strap and optional 2 yoga blocks for this class. I like to sit on a block with one heel in front of the other, but take a position that works for you today. We'll grab onto our yoga strap, begin with some shoulder mobility. Grab onto the yoga strap wider than your shoulders, as short of a distance as you can, while still being able to glide over the head and then back in front. Breathing in as the strap goes over the head, breathing out as it comes back to the front. Beautiful. Stop when you're in front. Take your right arm and swing it over the head and back. Then take your left to bring it in front again. Reverse, left behind the head, right to return. Begin to pick up the pace and allow the shoulders to effortlessly move. Okay, now bring the arms overhead and start to make some side bends. Reaching the arm to the mat beside you, and then moving on to the other side. Try to move more than from just your shoulders. Squeeze your core as well. That way we're firing up the muscles around the torso to help with our back bends. Okay, and we'll set the strap off to the side. Twisting from left to right. Move at a pace that feels good for you. Getting the joints nice and loose before we move into deeper postures. Flexibility is not passive. It includes strength and mobility. Wonderful. All right, let's get into tabletop, hands and knees. So hips are above knees. This is where you can take your yoga blocks for a deeper variation. Walk the hands forward for melting heart. So the chest is going to soften to the mat, so is the forehead. Although we're going to keep this a bit active to start. So swing side to side with the hips and the shoulders. Be sure not to crunch in the neck, but lengthen it by slightly tucking the chin. Okay, we'll do little cat-cow movements in our melting heart. So we'll inhale just naturally, no movement. So inhale deeply. Exhale, arch up. Inhale, back down. Exhale, up. Inhale, chest to floor. Exhale, arch the spine up. Inhale, bend, belly button to floor. Begin to pick up the pace with your breath. You'll notice a slight burning in your core. That's good. Keep going. Great work. Rest here, forehead on the mat. Release some tension from the shoulders. You can also flow into child's pose if that's better. Okay, lift the forehead. This time we'll be doing wide circles with the shoulders. Lifting and then falling, although we're keeping control with this movement. No collapsing. And reverse the direction. Rest for a second or two. Bring your hands to the mat if they're on blocks and shift the hips back for child's pose. Glide your body forward and make it onto your belly by lowering the hips. We'll get into a wide arm cobra with or without blocks. Elbows are lifted to the sky. You can even come up onto your fingertips and then begin to dip one shoulder in at a time. Notice what that's like for the shoulder blades and the cervical spine. Okay, back to center. Squeeze your glutes slightly, contract your core. We'll go into a full cobra. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. 20% we're pushing into our fingertips. 80 is the spinal muscles and the core and the glutes. So just move up and down, building that strength within the flexibility. You don't want to feel any pain, no pinching in this movement. And lower all the way. Okay. King Cobra variations. Gonna just start by lifting up onto our hands in this seal pose. So we're again engaging the glutes lightly. Arms are generously in front so we can push into the mat and bend more so in the mid back rather than the low back. So try to push your chest forward here. Shoulders back. So that spot kind of at the bottom of your ribs, that's what's shooting forward. Breathe slowly and deeply. Okay, and lower. Take your blocks if you want some support to go deeper. I'm gonna bend the legs. Okay, toes are pointed towards the top of the head. Our hands are gonna be slightly in front of the shoulders. The strength is coming from the back. Okay, inhale to lift, straighten the arms. Reach the toes for the top of the head. Squeeze the glutes, not too hard, but enough to protect the low back. And lower down. Rest on the opposite cheek. All right, press into the hands and lift up onto the knees. Now that we're a little more opened up, we'll move into camel pose, Ustrasana. Take your hands, flip them, and place them on the low back. Begin to push the hips forward. Glutes are engaged, so is the core, bending from the upper spine. Hands can reach for feet, or I like to keep them in prayer. Keep the hips shifting forward as the spine bends. Breathe deeply here. Chest pushes up. Hands to low back and lift up using the strength of your core. Sitting back on the heels. Beautiful work. That is an extremely challenging pose. Okay, we're just gonna shift our feet to the side so that we can sit back. And then swing that right leg around the outside of the left knee for our half Lord of the Fishes. Just gonna take it easy here by giving that lifted leg a hug. We're not trying so much to find a deep twist, but instead to lengthen the low back and a gentle rotation, which the spine loves after and before back bending. To the other side, switch your feet, and a little hug. All right, we're gonna move into our peak pose, which is wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana, plus an even deeper variation that we'll try today. Okay, let's begin on our back. If you don't want to move into full wheel today, you can try bridge pose instead. Let's begin with an inner forearm stretch. So pulling the fingers down. Good preparation for the wrists. Other side. Perfect, and roll out the wrists. Arms overhead, place your hands by your ears, flipping them so that the fingertips point towards the toes. Knuckles slightly lifted, like we're gripping the ground. Gonna lift the hips to roll the shoulder blades under. Okay, press into the hips and the arms to flip up onto the top of the head. Here, as if a string is lifting you up from your belly button. Inhale. Squeeze the core, your glutes to straighten the arms. And then press into your feet to shift forward. Gently come down by bending the elbows onto the top of the head, letting the spine roll down vertebra by vertebra. And then hug knees into chest. All right, wheel pose one more time. Or if you want to go deeper, you can come into a forearm wheel. So we'll enter it in a similar way. First, coming up onto the top of the head. But from here, walk the hands back. Enough so that you can rest on your forearms. Adjust the feet. Then press into the forearms to lift. Gaze is forward. Push into the feet. Open the heart. And back onto the head. Roll over the spine. Knees into chest. If you went into that deeper backbend variation, I recommend a counter pose. So pressing our hands into the mat, slight rolling of the spine using momentum to lift up, and then placing the hands on the low back for shoulder stand. Tucking the chin to chest, keeping the spine straight, and lowering one leg to the ground behind you at a time. Hands stay at low back or pressing into the mat. Bend the knees by the ears. Hands to low back. Slowly lower onto the spine. Sway the knees side to side. And then extend your legs for Shavasana. Feel your body heavy into the earth. Scan your entire body and melt away any tension. Surrender. And take in all the yummy sensations as we rest for the next couple minutes. Begin to gently roll the wrists, the ankles. Coming onto your side in a fetal position. Gently lifting up to seated when you're ready. Amazing work. Make sure that you save this class and keep coming back to it to continue your flexibility journey. And let me know if you have any suggestions for future classes. Yoga does more than just flexibility. It's an all-encompassing science that can truly transform your life. If you want to become the most confident, powerful, authentic, and truly aligned version of yourself, I suggest starting my Kundalini Yoga Transformation. It's a 3-part series where we go through activation, rising, and final awakening of your Kundalini energy, which you can use to power up and essentially upgrade any part of your life. I really hope to see you there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.